I've never put fuel in this carburetor yet. This is the first time. Eugene, this is your carburetor, buddy. This carburetor didn't have any fuel for decades. Here we go.
The good stuff just keeps rolling in to Nick's garage. But to make room for the next job, Nick has to move them out. And today is the day for this beautiful GTX.
So here we are. We're ready to deliver the car to John in Staten Island, New York. The engine installed, the AC installed, so it's ready for delivery. He wants to do a car show over the weekend. The shipping company's here. They want to pick it up. Hopefully have it delivered by tomorrow morning so you can get a chance to look at the car, drive it a bit, and maybe he wants to do his own polishing and bring it to a car show in New Jersey. And I just want to say another one done. I know it's been here for a while, but I've got it done. And I've also had the Jensen done this week also. That's ready for delivery. So I'm finally getting some cars out of my shop, finally. And he's gonna take it right from my shop and go straight to the show with it. So that's gonna be pretty cool. All right. We're gonna put it back right there.
Like this, eh?
Yeah, is your pants clean?
Yes.
All right, I'll take it out. Thank you, Leo. This is one beautiful car, let me tell you. All right, let's go.
A lot of work, man.
Yep, finally got it done.
Going home.
I would have loved to take this for a drive, but right now I got the transport company here. If they wouldn't have shown up today, I would have made a video tonight on it. But in the meantime, I gotta load it up and have it sent down to John.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. This is a big side door for. This is cool, man. That's smart.
That's what it's made for, honestly.
This is nice. I've never seen this. A door open on the sides. You can get out
You
easier.
even have the step there for your foot and everything. Man.
Nice.
They don't want you climbing through the windows, right?
I left the battery connected. I left
That's
the window
big move.
open. I left the keys in the ignition.
Perfect.
And it's in the park. John, hope you get your car for the show in New Jersey. Good luck with it. Thank you very much.
That does the jersey.
That is one rare car, eh? Beautiful 71 GTX. I hate to see it go, but I got no choice. I love it. Look at it. This is awesome, man. Look at this. This is awesome. John, you got one great machine there, let me tell you. Anyways, enjoy it and give me a call, see how you like it.
With the GTX out of the shop and on its way home, Nick has room to get cracking on the reassembly of the 1969 Charger 500 project. And today, the car's numbers matching engine is in the middle of testing on Nick's dyno.
Well, I've got a special engine on the dyno today. It belongs to a very rare car. It's a Charger 500 69. They only made 392 units. This is the one from Texas, belongs to Eugene. It is also a matching motor to the car, and we did some upgrades on it. But this is a very special engine. And yes, of course, a lot of people are asking me, where's the car? Well, it's been a while now. It's still in the body shop, waiting to get painted on a few pieces so I could have it delivered here. But in the meantime, I've got Eugene's 440 that belongs to that Charger 500 matching motor right here on the dyno. And he wanted a little bit more horsepower, so we were aiming like a 550 horsepower, 550 torque and above. So we did a few tests on it. So what we do today, we're not going to be finished. I'm going to do a couple of tests with the thumper carb, with a 1-inch spacer that Eugene wanted me to try. I want to try the AVS original carburetor that came with this car, which is an AVS 69 automatic, which is right here, you know, which I'm going to try it after. And then I want to put on the air cleaner, because this is something I've never tried, the air cleaner of a 69, which is only opening on the bottom, which I'll bring down in a few minutes. But in the meantime, we'll get started with the thumper carburetor, and I wanted to do some tries, see what kind of power we're going to get with this. I've done some tests already earlier with the M1 intake manifold, which is right here, made by Mo Performance. We did some testing with this, but we weren't pleased with the result because the curve on the graph was showing more like a point instead of a flat. So we're not going to work with this. And this one proved to be a better intake manifold for a street car. It is a street car. It will be a part-time racer, but most of the time will be a street cruiser. It is a heavy car, so we need to get some good torque numbers out of it. So anyways, I'm going to get it started with the thumper carb. It's a 750 CFM. We've got a 1-inch spacer, dual plane, trick flow heads, 240. It's got a cylinder pressure of 200 PSI on the cylinder heads. I've also had the zero deck to block. The headers are 1 7/8 stainless steel made by American Racing, and I'm ready to get it started. So if you viewers want to see it, here we go. We're going to get it started, warm it up for a few minutes, make some tests, and like I said earlier, we're not going to finish with it today because I just want to say that I just want to do a lot of things. We're going to experiment, but this engine has more potential for horsepower. So we're not going to finish. We might be doing some changes on maybe rockers. We've maxed out the valve springs, maybe a camshaft. We're not sure. But in the meantime, I'm just going to do a few tests for you viewers to see something going on with the Charger 440 engine that comes from the 500. Okay, we've located an original air cleaner for the 69 Charger. It's a unique piece. It's got the air filter in it, just a simple factory air filter. I've also got the pipe plate that goes with it. It is a 440 Magnum. That's the way the car came with. And it worked with an AVS. Okay, so the engine is upgraded, but I still would like to try the AVS, the way the engine is set up, just to see what kind of horsepower difference we have between the air cleaner on with the AVS and one without it. What do you say, we try it? Okay, let's go make a test with a thumper carb and then we'll take it from there. You know, you guys, you have to understand, when a client puts an engine on the dyno, we experiment with a few things. You know, not only are we looking for horsepower and torque, you know, we look for problems. We also like to do some testing, upgrading, see what's good, what's bad, what works better, what doesn't work better. So that is the reason, you know, not every engine goes on a dyno and sits there for one day and it's gone. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna do a few tests to show you guys what we have at the moment. Here we go. I did some tests earlier with a 750 HP Holley, and I did a few tests with the thumper side by side, and the thumper pulled ahead by 8 to 10 horsepower, so I'm staying with the thumper carburetor on this test with the 1-inch spacer. Okay, we're going to bring the temperature up to about 167, almost 170 degrees. And we'll take it from there. You know, I wish Eugene could be here. You know what? We could spend a few days in here, changing a few pieces, experimenting with a few items. You know, try this, try that. And if Eugene, of course, you're watching, I wish you were here, because we could spend a few days here in the dining room and go through everything you wanted to go. Different intakes, different carburetors, different valve springs, different camshafts, or whatever, you know. Like I said, there's no rush. I leave the engine in the dyno room, and we look for the best. So we're not going to finish with the results today. We're just going to use what we got until we do further testing in the future. Okay, I'm ready to go. So my parameters are going to be right here. We're going to go at 3,000 RPMs per second. We're going to start at 2,800 RPM and finish it at 56. And then we'll just do a few tests like that with the thumper. And then after that, we're going to go with the AVS. This time, I also have the oil temperature connected to the oil pan. I've got everything connected right here. Air fuel ratio is only on number 2. That's your oil pressure, manifold pressure, 11.5, 930 RPM. Fuel 1, fuel 2, that's my 2 fuel lines. Coolant is at 168 Fahrenheit. Oil temperature is 130 Fahrenheit. Battery voltage is almost 14 volts. Okay, here we go. Man, that was loud. I forgot to put my headphones on. Oh boy. Okay. This is the point I wanted to make. Here, let me just show you guys. I was telling you that this engine has more potential for more than 550 horsepower. Here, let's take a look. And this is the point I wanted to make. Here, I just took it at 5,500 RPM. We are still pulling more horsepower at 55. I'm not going to go on a further RPM until I fix the valve train for what we need to do with Eugene. But in the meantime, I just want to show you guys what is going on and what I'm getting at. Here we are. We took it to 5,500 RPM and we pulled out a 548.8 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. That means this engine is still pulling horsepower. But I know if I go beyond that, I know it's gonna have a valve bounce or valve train harmonics. So I stopped it at that because I know what's happening. And then if I show you the graph, you'll have a good idea. But in the meantime, look at the torque numbers it's pulled out. Right here, let's take a look. And our torque numbers, I believe, are 569 at 4,400 RPMs. I'm just gonna put on the graph, and I wanted to show you guys where I shut it down at 5,600 RPM. If you guys take a look here, you can see that it's still climbing. It's at 548.8 and it's still climbing. I know that it's gonna fluctuate at above 5,600 RPM, but it doesn't matter. I just wanted to show you what we got so far. It looks pretty good, pretty impressive for me. It is a 440, it's a non-stroker. It's only a 30 overbore with flat top pistons, and this engine has a lot more potential. Torque, we got a torque of 569, and I'm sure we can do a lot better than that. So we're gonna stay with this intake. Probably gonna, now I don't know what carburetor we're gonna end up with, but this is a good number for what it is at 5,500 RPM. So let's put on an AVS carburetor, what came from the factory, and then try another test with the AVS with the air cleaner on that came from the factory. Let's try it. AVS is what came with the vehicle. It was an AVS on a 440, which we have here. It's the correct carburetor for the car. But I just wanted to try it. I'm just curious to see the difference between the AVS and high performance thumper carb or a Holley carburetor. Now, do I use a spacer? No. You know what? We'll use a half-inch spacer on the AVS. Here we go. Let me just try this. I'll put the little one on. Here we go. Here we'll go, a half-inch spacer on it. That's cool. Here's my gasket. I just gotta make sure now with the AVS that it does not run lean because it's got the factory metering rods, factory jetting. And you know, it wasn't designed with the trick flow heads, but you know what? I'll just take a little fast test. I wanna make sure it doesn't run lean. If it does run lean while I'm revving it up, I will shut it down. You know, running lean, we're gonna cook the pistons, and that's one thing I don't wanna do. The worst thing to do on a piston is running lean because they overheat, creates a lot of heat, and then before you know it, you're gonna cook the pistons. So we're just gonna take a short burst and see how it goes. All right. I've never put fuel in this carburetor yet. This is the first time. Eugene, this is your carburetor, buddy. Oh, we got it. Okay, it's all good. But you know what? I'm just gonna remove the studs, put shorter studs, because I don't need these longer studs. We are not using a 1-inch spacer. Just give me a sec. I'll change the for shorter studs. Here we go. AVS, wow. I'm gonna have to remove one fuel line because it's a single feed on an AVS. All we need is one fuel line on an AVS. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. After all, an AVS is not a high-performance carburetor for this application with this engine setup. But you know what, we're just gonna try it. We wanna make sure the carburetor is working, just for fun's sake. You go to a car show, you want a matching engine, you know, you'd like to have the original carburetor. He's gonna have it with the car anyways. All I wanna do is put a test on it. I'm just curious to see if the carb works. This is being rebuilt by Dyno in Ontario. But you know what, I'm just curious to see what it does in horsepower. Let's try it. This carburetor didn't have any fuel for decades. And for you guys who want to know, we're going to connect a vacuum. Since I got a vacuum port on the original AVS, I'm going to connect it to the distributor. I know I got a full advance at 32 degrees. I'm going to leave it at that. And let's take it from here. This is what I love doing. This is what I like. I can stay in the dining room day and night working on this stuff. Yeah, this is what I like. Okay, let's just break it down to one fuel line. We've tried the single plane intake, which is an M1 intake manifold before. Yeah, it did the same horsepower, same torque, but on the graph, it was more like a mountain, which is not what we want. A flat curve on the graph is what you want. So it turned out the dual plane turned out better. What I'm trying to say is, at all the RPM range, along the RPM range, when you're saying flat, is because you're getting more torque along every RPM, more torque, more horsepower at every RPM at every stage. So this one proved to be better, the dual plane, so this one we're keeping. Here we go. We need to put the ball on the carburetor. This is it. Like so. And you know, after we've done everything, and everything's perfect, and everything's done, at the end we're going to paint this complete engine all orange before we install it in the car. But in the meantime, I'm not going to paint it right now because, you know, we're going to do some further testing in the future, and it's not done yet. There we go. We got our fuel line. You know, I like playing with engines, but what worries me sometimes, you know, you build an engine, you're looking for maximum horsepower, you've put some aftermarket products on it, and you're looking for a lot of horsepower. And it's a matching motor to the car. So the worst thing you want to do is damage the block or anything like that. So I just want to test a few things at a time, not extreme, because there's going to be a driver on the street after that. But you know, we want to see what kind of horsepower this engine is going to take. So I'm not going to do test after test after test. I'm going to try a few tests right now with the AVS. I did one with the thumper carb with the 1 inch. Like you guys saw, it was practically 550 horsepower. But in the meantime, today I'm taking it only to 5,600 RPM. Just for viewers to see what's going on. Because I've got the original engineer that belongs to the Charger 500. And he's the original owner. Eugene is the original owner of this car that he's bought brand new, I believe in late 1968 from Sparta, New Jersey. Yeah, I remember Sparta because my father's from Sparta. I can't forget that name, that's for sure. Let's put the fuel pump on. Who knows when this carburetor had fuel in it last? I'm sure it must have been a few decades. Let's see. Does it got fuel? Oh yeah. It's shooting fuel. Okay, I gotta find a way to open the choke because I don't have a choke on it. I did connect the vacuum advance on the, you know, I've got a vacuum port on this carburetor so I can connect the vacuum advance. Meanwhile, on the other carburetors, for example, the thumper, I did not have any vacuum ports for the distributor, which I have in this case. So I connected it anyways. And a lot of times I try to open the choke because, for example, this intake manifold wasn't designed for this carburetor to be tied up with a choke thermostat. So for that reason, the choke is free. The choke is free like you see right here. So I want to make sure it doesn't close when we go on full throttle. So what do is I tie it open, make sure it stays open, and it doesn't give us any false information on the, but we're also going to see it on the above camera. The only thing that should open and close is our secondary butterfly, which is the air flap. Okay, let's tie it open now. Okay, let's get started with the AVS for the first time in history. Let's go. Here we go. I wouldn't be surprised that this carburetor is going to run lean with the with this engine setup. All right, let's get it. Let me get the air. Here we go. see what we do.
We'll be right back to the dyno, but first, a quick word from Nick.
All right, sorry to interrupt you guys. Before we go into the testing of the AVS, I want to introduce you my nephew, Nick Penerides, with his new site with the daily stakes. I'm proud of him, and I want you guys to go check it out. They give you the information for you to bet smarter. And the daily stakes will give you the same analytics as the pros use. And you guys, if you look closer, they cover the NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, and the UFC. I love all the sports. I love them all. But NFL is one of my favorites. So the 3 memberships, the first one's called the Sports Card, which is when you work with, or should I say, when you're wedging with one league. Then you have the other one, which is the All Sports Plan, which is all the leagues together. And then we have the third membership, which is a trial, which is weekly, so you can try it out and see how it goes.
So whether you're new to the game or you're an experienced player looking to get the edge against the books, the daily stakes will empower you with the same analytics used by the pros. And you'll be doing Nick a favor by checking out his nephew's site.
And now the football season just started, so now you guys can enjoy the information you're just looking for. So if you guys sign up, if you use my promo code Nick's Garage, you can save 20%. And don't forget, you got to be 21 years and older, and make sure when you put a wager that you can afford to lose it in case you lose. So visit my nephew's site, the Daily Stakes, and good luck. So now let's get back to our Eugene's 440 engine in the dyno room. Running lean on Dyno. Let's see what it does at full throttle. If it runs too lean, I'm going to shut it down. I'm not going to go any further. After all, this carb is not designed to work with this engine, but just for sake, I want to just try it. If I see it running too lean, I'll shut it down. I will not finish the, I'm going to board the test. Here we go. There it goes. It ran a bit lean, I'm sure. But in the meantime, let's see what it did. Okay, here we go. Okay, we just did a test with the EVS. It ran a bit on the lean side, but you know, I didn't want to go any further. We took it at 5.5. And now look at it, still climbing. It made 534 horsepower at 5,500 RPM. I have it to shut down at 56, but it went to 5,500 RPM. And the torque numbers are still up there, 555.3 at 4,300 RPM. And now let's take a look at the graph. Here we go. There we go. Still climbing. 534 and still climbing. I wanted to try something here now. I wanted to see if I should use the AVS. First of all, let me just check the air fuel ratio. I want to make sure nothing goes wrong. Hold on. Oh yeah, we ran kind of lean. Do I want to run it with the air cleaner? You know what? I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to put back the thumper carburetor. I'm not going to, it ran pretty lean with the AVS, so I'm not going to go any further testing with the AVS. But it did 534 HP at 5,500 RPM. Okay, that's pretty cool, man. It still did a 550 plus torque, foot-pounds of torque. Yeah, here it is, 555 plus foot-pounds of torque at 4,300 RPM. I just wanted to know how much restriction is in that air cleaner. So since we're running lean on this carburetor, I'm not going to test it with this. I'm not going to tune this carburetor for this setup because it's not going to be working with this setup. I'm going to put the thumper carburetor back on with a 1/2 inch spacer and go with the air cleaner and let's see what it does, okay? So let's go. So here, let's put this on like so. All right, this is a factory air cleaner that came with the car on a 69 Charger. It's called unsilenced air cleaner, I believe. I'm not so sure, but anyways, you know what? Let's put the pipe plate. After all, it is a 440 Magnum. Let's put this on also. Okay, and let's put on my little nut to keep it in place. There we go, 440 Magnum. There we go, thank you. It's an opening on the bottom right here. That's the only opening. It's about 1/2 inch all the way around. There you have it. Okay, I'm gonna get it started, see what it sounds like. Wow. Now this is the exact same test I've done before without the air cleaner. And now the only difference right now is because this has an air cleaner on, the same setup we have here. So let's see the difference. Here we go. No air cleaner. My guess, how much horsepower we're gonna lose? Good question. I don't know, I've never used this type of air cleaner. What are we gonna lose? Maybe 20 horsepower? 20 pounds foot torque? I'm not sure. You know what? Let's do the test and find out. Yeah, or comment down below while we're doing the test. Here we go. Wow, this is strange. I'm gonna let it get to the water temperature. Like I said, I'm gonna run it at 166 degrees. Okay, let's see what we got. I have no idea what happened here now. Here we go. All right, this is all the same setup, except this has an air cleaner. Let me just see where we maxed out right here. Wow. God. It still makes some decent power. Here, as of today, I just wanted to show you guys the difference with the thumper carburetor with and without the air cleaner. With the same headers, same timing, all the same. Wow, it's pretty impressive what I've noticed. Okay, let me go with the without the air cleaner, with the thumper carburetor, 1/2 inch spacer. At 4,400 RPM, we pulled out a 572 torque. And with the air cleaner on, at the same RPM, 4,400, we pulled out 564 pounds of torque. Wow, not bad. We lost about what? 8 pounds of torque. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, now horsepower. Without the air cleaner on, we pulled out a 549.3 at 5,500 RPM. And as today, with the air cleaner on, we pulled out a 541.6 horsepower at 55, but we couldn't go any further, and it was still climbing. So, you know, if you think about it, we didn't even lose 10 horsepower. We're very close to it. So this air cleaner will work on the car. So you know what? You don't need no special aftermarket air cleaner. This air cleaner does the job. It's not even a K&M air filter element. It's a factory paper element right from the factory. And you know what? I'd keep it on the car anyways. So there you have it, you guys. We're not going to go any further until I do some other modifications up to date with Eugene and a good friend of ours, Sheldon, with working on this together. And as of today, this is the results we have. So this engine has more potential. We're going to stop now. We'll leave it as it is. And there you have it. So this is where we stand today. We did pretty well with this air cleaner. And you guys, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click the button, subscribe, share, press the like button. And thank you for watching here on Nick's Garage.
Come back to Nick's Garage for more of the 1969 Charger 500 restoration and all the other good stuff that finds its way into the shop.
If you look down below the video, we have a whole bunch of merchandise that you guys can buy. So whatever you like, buy it, love it, wear it, and enjoy it. And help spread the word of Nick's Garage. And if you have some time, check out our Patreon page. We have extra content and you guys can watch it and take it from there. And we'll see you next time.